Change feels like one of those big, intimidating mountains to climb. We're all looking for the shortcut, the quick fix that will change everything in an instant. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that transformation has to happen overnight, that we need to take dramatic leaps or make drastic changes in order to see real progress. I get it. I've been there. You set a goal and at first the excitement is there, the motivation feels like a fire, ready to burn through anything in its way. But after a few days that fire dims and suddenly the whole thing feels too big, too overwhelming, so you stop. But what if I told you that the key to real, lasting change isn't in the grand gestures but in the tiny, consistent steps? What if the transformation you're looking for was never meant to be a giant leap but a series of small steps, taken day by day, that build on each other? That's the power of incremental change. It's easy to dismiss small actions as meaningless or too insignificant to make a difference, but it's these very actions that over time compound and create real progress. The first step starts with realizing that real change doesn't happen overnight. It's not about perfection, it's about progression. 7 days might seem like a small amount of time, but it's enough to create the foundation for something greater. In this video, you'll see how simple daily actions, things you can start today, can begin shaping your future self. By the end of the week, you'll begin to notice the shift in your mindset, your energy, and your clarity. Are you ready to see what's possible in just 7 days? Before we begin, please subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing videos like this. Let's get started. Micro-learning, making informal learning a daily routine. Staying sharp in today's world feels like a constant battle. We're bombarded by distractions at every turn, social media notifications, the never-ending stream of news, the constant pull of entertainment. It's hard to keep up with everything, let alone take the time to focus on something that truly expands our knowledge. Our attention spans are shorter, our minds pulled in a million directions. And yet, we all know the value of learning, of growing, evolving, and staying curious. But how? How do we make room for that in a world that seems to move faster than we can keep up? That's where the idea of micro-learning comes in. Micro-learning isn't about diving into textbooks or dedicating hours of your day to study. It's about small, bite-sized chunks of knowledge that you can consume daily in the midst of your busy life. We all know that we can't always sit down for an hour-long lecture or spend an entire afternoon reading a book. But what if, instead, you dedicated just 5 to 10 minutes every day to learning something new? You could watch a short video on YouTube about a topic that interests you, listen to a podcast during your morning commute, or read an article while you wait for your coffee. The key is to seek out small, digestible pieces of information that spark your curiosity. This habit doesn't require a huge commitment. It's about building a routine that keeps your mind engaged and open to new ideas. Pick something that piques your interest, whether it's learning about a historical event, discovering new productivity techniques, or exploring a completely new skill. The beauty of micro-learning is its flexibility. You can make it fit into your day, no matter how busy you are. Maybe you listen to a podcast on your lunch break, or watch a quick YouTube video while you unwind in the evening. It doesn't matter when or how long, as long as you make it a regular part of your routine. What does this do for you? Well, aside from keeping your mind sharp, it expands your worldview. It helps you see things from new perspectives, fueling your curiosity and sparking ideas you never would have had otherwise. In a world that often feels overwhelming, microlearning is a powerful tool to stay adaptable and engaged. It's the perfect antidote to mental fatigue because it doesn't require long hours of focus. It's just a few minutes a day, but those minutes add up, building a steady rhythm of growth. Think about it. Over a week, a month, or even a year, those small pieces of knowledge start to accumulate. Suddenly, you're more well-read, more knowledgeable, and more confident in your ability to adapt to change. Even when life feels like it's moving at full speed, micro-learning gives you a chance to catch your breath and keep growing, one small step at a time. And that's the magic of it. When you embrace this habit, you're not just learning facts, you're building a mindset of curiosity and resilience. In a world that constantly demands more of us, micro-learning helps us stay present and evolve without feeling overwhelmed. So, What can you learn today? What's something you've always wanted to explore but never had the time for? Take a few minutes today to dive into that and see how it feels. You'll be surprised by how much it enriches your life and sharpens your mind. One small piece at a time. The key is consistency, and in just 7 days, you'll find that those small steps are already starting to lay the foundation for a more curious, adaptable, and well-informed version of yourself. Embrace the warrior mentality. There's a strange, almost magnetic pull toward comfort, isn't there? We all crave ease, whether it's lounging on the couch after a long day, choosing the path of least resistance, or avoiding those things that make us uncomfortable. And yet, it's when we face discomfort that growth begins. But let's be honest, discomfort feels hard. Whether it's physical, mental, or emotional, it's easy to back away when we feel weak or overwhelmed. Our minds start to convince us that we're not ready, that we're not strong enough. We tell ourselves, I'll do it tomorrow, and in that moment we choose comfort over growth. But what if there was another way? Let's take a look at the warrior mentality. Imagine waking up each day with the mindset of someone who thrives in discomfort. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The warrior doesn't run from difficulty. They face it head-on, knowing that every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger. The warrior trains their mind to embrace the struggle because they understand that only by pushing beyond their limits can they discover their true potential. This is the mentality that separates those who stay stagnant from those who constantly evolve. It's not about having the best circumstances, it's about having the strength to thrive no matter what the circumstances are. And you can cultivate this strength, one step at a time. For the next 7 days, challenge yourself to take on something difficult, something that makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be the hardest thing you've ever done. The key is to push yourself just beyond your current limits. Maybe you wake up 30 minutes earlier than usual, forcing yourself to start the day with focus and purpose. Perhaps it's committing to a workout that pushes your physical boundaries, or tackling a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. It could even be choosing to sit with your emotions, facing them head-on instead of numbing or running from them. Whatever it is, make it deliberate. Make it a small, actionable step toward embracing discomfort every single day. This practice isn't about being reckless or forcing yourself to endure unnecessary pain. It's about understanding that true growth lies in that space just beyond your comfort zone. Every time you choose to face discomfort, you're building resilience, muscle for the mind and body. The warrior knows that discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the forge where strength is made. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, knew this well. He believed that endurance, the ability to withstand difficulty, was a cornerstone of growth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This isn't just a quote, it's a philosophy that teaches us to embrace what challenges us, because it's these very challenges that shape our character. So, as you move through this week, remember that every obstacle is a chance to train your mind, harden your spirit, and grow stronger. The discomfort you face is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're on the right path. Each time you lean into that discomfort, you're building the resilience that will carry you through anything life throws your way. At the end of the week, you'll look back not just on the hard things you've done, but on the person you've become in the process. Strength is forged in discomfort. The warrior mentality isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, one step at a time. And as you do, you'll find yourself more prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead, knowing that you are capable of much more than you ever imagined. Build discipline through daily practice. We've all been there. Dreaming big, setting lofty goals, and imagining the incredible results we want to see. We get excited, ready to jump in and make a change. But then the hard truth sets in. Results don't happen overnight. The idea of instant transformation, of suddenly being great at something, feels enticing, but it's far from realistic. We want to skip past the struggle and get straight to the end where success is waiting. But facing reality is realizing that success doesn't come from shortcuts. It comes from consistent, daily effort. It comes from the discipline to keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is the key that unlocks all the potential you've been hoping to tap into. I'll give you an example. Think of someone who seems naturally gifted at something. Maybe they're a musician, an athlete, or even a writer. It's easy to assume they were born with that talent. But the truth is, talent only gets you so far. The real difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the commitment to consistent practice. I remember hearing about a musician who was far from the most naturally talented in his class. He didn't have the natural ease others seemed to possess. But what he had was discipline. He practiced relentlessly, every single day. Over time, his commitment turned what seemed like an insurmountable challenge into second nature. The truth is, discipline trumps talent every time. It's the muscle that turns raw potential into results. For the next 7 days, I challenge you to choose one area of your life, whether it's a skill you want to develop, a fitness goal you want to achieve, or a personal habit you want to strengthen, and practice it daily, whether it's 10 minutes or an hour. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about showing up and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. Over the week, you'll start to see the compound effect of your efforts. Small actions, repeated consistently, begin to add up. What seemed like a slow, insignificant effort at first will snowball into something powerful. You'll start to notice improvements in your skill, your focus, and your confidence. That's the beauty of discipline. It doesn't require perfection, only persistence. But discipline isn't just about achieving external results. It's about building character. Every time you choose to practice, you're not just getting better at your chosen skill. You're growing as a person. You're teaching yourself the value of persistence, the power of consistency, and the strength that comes from pushing through resistance. It's a reminder that growth is a process, and perfection is an illusion. You don't need to be perfect to improve. You don't need to get it right every time. What matters is that you show up again and again, trusting that each practice session is a step closer to mastery. Discipline isn't about being the best right now. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. And when you take that approach, the results will follow naturally and steadily. So let go of the expectation of instant success and embrace the process. The results are inevitable when you commit to the work. Discipline, after all, is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Organize your space for greater clarity and productivity. Clutter has a way of creeping into our lives, doesn't it? Whether it's piles of paper on our desks, a chaotic inbox, or a cluttered mind that can't focus for more than a few minutes, the mess adds up. At first it seems harmless, just one more thing to deal with later. But over time, the clutter starts to weigh on us. It distracts us, makes it harder to think clearly, and drains our energy. You've probably experienced this. The more cluttered things get, the more overwhelmed you feel. Your mind mirrors the mess around you, constantly distracted and clouded, making it harder to focus and be productive. It's as if the physical mess outside reflects an internal state of disorganization. So, how do we break free from this constant feeling of overwhelm? The key lies in organizing your environment. The simple act of clearing clutter can do wonders for your mental clarity. When your space is clean, everything becomes easier. You can find what you need quickly. Your mind feels less chaotic. The energy in the room shifts. A tidy space creates room for better thinking. It's no coincidence that when we feel productive, our surroundings tend to be more organized. A well-kept space isn't just about appearances, it's about functionality. It's about reducing distractions so your mind can focus on what truly matters. Organizing your environment isn't just about creating an aesthetically pleasing space. It's about giving yourself the mental clarity to think more clearly, to work with focus, and to live with intention. I'd love to challenge you this coming week to spend just 5-10 minutes a day decluttering or organizing one space in your life. Maybe start with your desk. Clear off papers, organize your files, and give yourself a clean slate to work with. Or tackle your digital space, sort through your emails, delete files you no longer need, and organize your digital folders. Pick one small area each day, and as you declutter, notice how it makes you feel. At first, it might seem like a small, insignificant effort, but as you continue this habit each day, you'll start to see the cumulative impact. Each small act of tidying up creates more room for focus, creativity, and productivity. It's the compound effect of creating an environment where clarity can thrive. As you clear the physical clutter, take a moment to reflect on how it affects your mental state. A clean space doesn't just help you be more productive, it helps you think more clearly. It creates the mental space to focus on what's important. Just like how decluttering a room makes it easier to find what you need, organizing your thoughts and priorities becomes much easier when your environment is clean and intentional. When you make room in your surroundings, you make room in your mind. The less cluttered your environment, the more space you have to focus on your goals, your passions, and your growth. So take the first step. Start with one area today. The small wins will build up, and soon you'll realize that by organizing your space, you've also organized your mind. A clean environment isn't just about external order. It's about creating the mental clarity that leads to true productivity and peace of mind. Exercise to boost body and mind. We've all been there. The gym membership, the workout routine, the motivation that comes in waves and quickly fades. At first, we're determined to make fitness a priority. We set goals, buy the gear, and start off strong. But then, somewhere along the way, it starts to feel like a chore. The motivation wanes, and working out feels like something we have to do rather than something we want to do. It's easy to get caught up in the cycle of pushing through just to check the box, but deep down we know it's not working. Exercise starts to feel like a burden rather than a gift. So, what if we could change that? What if we could see exercise not just as a physical obligation, but as an opportunity to elevate not only our bodies, but also our minds? Exercise is far more than just a way to stay in shape. It's a powerful tool for mental and emotional well-being. When you move your body, you do more than burn calories and build strength. You're improving your mood, reducing stress, and sharpening your mind. Studies show that regular physical activity boosts brain function, improves memory, and helps with emotional regulation. It's like a reset button for your mind. The endorphins released during exercise can lift your mood, calm your nerves, and increase your sense of focus and clarity. Exercise isn't just about looking better, it's about feeling better, inside and out. It's a connection that many overlook, but when you begin to experience it for yourself, it becomes impossible to ignore. A workout can be the reset your mind needs to tackle life's challenges with resilience and focus. For the next week, commit to starting with just 10 minutes of exercise each day. Keep it simple and achievable. Consistency is more important than intensity right now. Maybe you start with a brisk walk, some bodyweight exercises like push-ups or squats, or even a quick yoga session. The goal is not to push your limits right away, but to show up every day. Get your body moving, even if it's just for a short time. As you build this habit, try mixing it up to avoid the monotony of doing the same thing every day. Try a new workout style, explore a different activity, or challenge yourself in a new way. The key here is consistency. Don't worry about making it perfect, just commit to doing it daily. Over time, those 10 minutes will feel less like a task and more like a vital part of your routine. As you continue to exercise, think about the bigger picture. Each time you push yourself physically, you're also pushing yourself mentally and emotionally. Exercise builds resilience. It's not just about physical endurance. It's about learning how to push through discomfort, to show up even when you don't feel like it, and to grow through challenges. That moment when you feel like you can't go any further, whether you're running, lifting weights, or stretching, can teach you more about yourself than any other task. The mental toughness you develop in these moments carries over into other areas of life. You learn that you can handle more than you thought. You learn to sit with discomfort, knowing that it's temporary and that growth often comes from pushing beyond what you thought were your limits. So, as you commit to these daily workouts, remember that you're not just training your body, you're strengthening your mind, your emotions, and your resilience. Exercise isn't just physical, it's a tool for becoming the best version of yourself. When you show up for your body, you're also showing up for your mental and emotional growth. The power of small habits. As we reflect on the past week, it's easy to see that small, intentional actions add up in ways we don't always notice at first. Whether it was dedicating a few minutes each day to learning something new, embracing discomfort to build resilience, committing to daily practice, organizing your space for clarity, or incorporating exercise to strengthen both body and mind, each of these habits has laid the groundwork for something bigger. The key takeaway here is simple. 7 days, while short, is more than enough to get the ball rolling. It's the start of a journey, not the end. These small habits are like seeds that, with consistency, will grow into something meaningful and life-changing. But don't stop here. As you continue to integrate these habits into your routine, you'll begin to notice not just changes in the external world around you, but internal shifts as well. Each day you show up for yourself. Each time you decide to practice discipline, push through discomfort, or make space for growth, you're creating momentum. The beauty of momentum is that once it's in motion, it becomes easier to keep going. Each step forward builds on the one before, creating a ripple effect of change. It's not about achieving perfection or expecting instant results. It's about committing to the process, trusting that each small action compounds over time, leading to lasting transformation. Change, as we know, is rarely immediate, and it's certainly not always linear. But every day you put in the effort, you're reinforcing the foundation of a better version of yourself. The work you put in now is what will pay off in the future. So, keep going. In the whirlwind of our daily lives, where challenges loom at every corner, the strength to not just survive but thrive is something we all yearn to harness. Imagine, then, not merely pushing through but evolving through every trial, emerging not only unscathed but stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Today, we delve into the core of what it means to be unbreakable. We explore the 6 defining habits of mentally strong people, habits that are not inherited but forged in the fires of discipline and self-reflection. Each moment of hardship, every instance where life knocks you down, these are not merely obstacles but opportunities. Opportunities that mentally strong people leverage to fortify their inner strength. What if I told you that the secret to enduring strength isn't about never falling, but about learning the art of rising every time we fall? It's about embracing the pain, learning from the turbulence, and transforming turmoil into triumph. So if you see the value in turning challenges into stepping stones, then join us, subscribe, and become part of a community committed to building strength. Are you ready to discover the incredible potential that lies beyond your trials? Let's get started. The very nature of life is change, yet how often do we find ourselves fighting it, resisting it, as if we could somehow escape the inevitable? The truth is, change is not just a part of life, it is life itself. Stoic philosophy teaches us that the only constant is change, and the mastery of one's life lies in the ability to adapt. To be mentally strong, to truly thrive in the midst of life's tempests, one must not only accept change, but welcome it with open arms. Think about the last time you faced a significant change. Perhaps it was a move to a new city, a shift in your career, or even a change in a personal relationship. Was it uncomfortable? Did it feel like you were losing a part of yourself? These feelings are natural, but here lies the crucial insight. Within that discomfort lies a profound opportunity for growth. Imagine for a moment that you are a ship at sea. Change is the wind. It can be unpredictable, wild, and frightening. But those who are mentally strong are the skilled sailors, adept at adjusting their sails, using the wind to propel them forward rather than be dashed against the rocks. They understand something fundamental, that the wind is not their enemy but a force that can be harnessed to explore new horizons. Stoicism offers a perspective that change, no matter how daunting, carries with it the seeds of new strength. It teaches us that what we initially perceive as setbacks are often veiled opportunities. It's about perception. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "Our actions may be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions, because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting, and this adaptation, this resilience, is at the core of mental strength." Let me share a story that illustrates the power of embracing change. It's about a friend of mine who lost his job, a career he had built over decades. Initially, he was devastated, overwhelmed by uncertainty and fear, but then he took a step that many might find counterintuitive. He embraced this dramatic change. He used his newfound time to pursue a passion he had always placed on the back burner: painting. Fast forward to today, and he not only found solace in his art, but has turned it into a thriving new career path. This wouldn't have been possible if he hadn't embraced the winds of change, stepping into the unknown with courage. So, how can you start to embrace change? Begin by viewing each change as an experiment, a step towards discovering new aspects of yourself. Whether it's changing a habit, altering your routine, or even changing the way you think about change itself, each step is a lesson, each pivot a chapter in your story of growth. Remember, every time you embrace change, you're not just adapting, you're setting the stage for transformation. Change breaks the old to make way for the new, and in that newness, you find new strengths, new passions, and new paths to happiness that you could never have anticipated. This isn't just about suppressing what you feel. Far from it. It's about understanding your emotions, channeling them constructively, and maintaining equilibrium even in the face of life's upheavals. We've all been there, right? Those moments when our feelings seem to get the better of us, clouding our judgment, dictating our actions. But what if we could master these tempestuous seas, navigate through them with the composure of a Stoic philosopher? Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control what happens to us, we absolutely can control how we respond. Picture this. You're faced with a situation that typically sends your heart racing and your mind spiraling into a vortex of what-ifs and whys. Now, imagine observing your reaction as an outsider, acknowledging the surge of emotion but choosing a different response. You take a breath. You pause. In that pause lies your power. The power to choose a response that aligns with your values, not just your instincts. This approach doesn't mean your emotions are invalid or that they should be ignored. Quite the contrary. It means you recognize and respect your feelings without letting them steer your life off course. It's about saying, yes, I feel this anger or anxiety, but I choose not to let it dominate my actions. It's about reclaiming control. One thought, one decision at a time. Think of the last time you faced a stressful situation. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend, a setback at work, or a financial strain. Reflect on how you reacted. Did your emotions lead to actions you later regretted? Now, let's reimagine that scenario. This time, you channel your inner Stoic. You allow yourself to feel the emotion fully and without judgment. You observe it, understand its source, and then gently but firmly guide it to a place of reason and wisdom. This self-regulation is not about denial, it's about management and transformation. It's turning the heat of anger into the light of understanding. It's transforming the paralysis of fear into the clarity of caution. By mastering our emotions, we don't just endure life's challenges, we thrive amidst them. We turn our emotional energy into fuel for personal growth and achievement. And here's something else. Each time you successfully manage an emotional response, you build a little more resilience, a little more strength. Like a muscle that grows stronger with exercise, your emotional resilience expands with each challenge faced and overcome. You begin to trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way, not because you are the master of it. So, next time you find yourself in the whirlwind of emotional turmoil, remember this. You have the tools to calm the storm. You can acknowledge your emotions as natural, but choose actions that are rational. Embrace the Stoic wisdom that has empowered countless souls through millennia, not as a suppression of emotion, but as a transformation of it. Harness it, mold it, and let it elevate you to heights you never thought possible. In a world that never sleeps, where the demands on our time and energy are incessant, learning to set boundaries is not just wise, it's essential. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-mastery and inner tranquility, but how often do we sacrifice these for the sake of others? The truth is, without setting firm boundaries, we risk not only our well-being, but also our ability to pursue what truly matters. Think of your energy as a sacred reserve, a finite source that fuels not only your daily activities, but also your deepest passions and pursuits. When this reserve is depleted by the countless demands of others, be they work commitments, social obligations, or even the subtle pressures of digital media, what's left for you? How can you pursue your personal goals or invest in self-care when your energy has been spent on everything but yourself? Setting boundaries is thus not about selfishness, it's about self-preservation. It's about discerning what truly deserves your time and energy, and having the courage to say no to the rest. Stoic philosophy doesn't call us to turn away from the world, but to engage with it on our terms, to ensure that our interactions are intentional and our commitments meaningful. Let me tell you a story about a close friend of mine, someone who always went the extra mile for everyone. She was the first to arrive and the last to leave. The person who volunteered for every project, who never said no. Initially, it seemed like her boundless energy knew no limits, until it did. One day, she confided in me that she felt exhausted, not just physically, but emotionally. She was giving so much to others that she had forgotten to give to herself. After much reflection, inspired partly by the Stoic practice of self-reflection, she began to set boundaries. She started small, by limiting the number of projects she would take on and by carving out time for her hobbies. The change wasn't instant, but over time, she found herself feeling less drained and more fulfilled. She was still generous with her time, but now it was on her terms, ensuring she had enough left for the things that truly enrich her life. How then can we start setting these vital boundaries? It begins with self-awareness. Take a moment to reflect on what parts of your life feel overwhelming or draining. Is it a particular commitment that brings more stress than satisfaction? Or perhaps it's a relationship that demands more than it gives back. Recognizing these drains on your energy is the first step toward setting boundaries. Next, communicate these boundaries clearly and firmly. This doesn't mean being confrontational. Rather, it's about being honest with others about what you can and cannot do, what you are willing to accept and what you are not. It's about teaching others how to treat you by showing them what you value. And finally, enforce these boundaries. It's one thing to set them, it's another to maintain them. This might mean turning down invitations, stepping back from obligations that no longer serve you, or simply learning to prioritize your own needs alongside those of others. This enforcement isn't a one-time act, but a continuous process that requires dedication and commitment. In the tapestry of life, every thread you weave plays a part in the larger picture of your story. Each decision, every action holds the weight of potential outcomes, and understanding this is pivotal. In the world of Stoicism, there is a profound emphasis on the concept of taking responsibility, not just in our actions but also in our reactions. The Stoic philosophers taught that while we cannot always control what happens to us, we have absolute power over how we respond. This doctrine isn't just about accountability, it's about empowerment. Let's delve into a narrative that perhaps we've all lived in one way or another. Picture yourself working on a project that's close to your heart. You've poured in hours, days, maybe even months of effort. But despite your dedication, things go awry. It's a familiar scenario, isn't it? Maybe the results fell short of expectations, or an unforeseen issue threw everything off course. It's in moments like these that your character is tested. Do you look outward, casting blame on circumstances or others? Or do you look inward, assessing what part you played in the outcome? I remember a time when I faced a similar situation. It was a project I believed in deeply, and initially, when it didn't pan out, my first instinct was to blame external factors. The timing was off, the resources were insufficient, the support wasn't adequate. But upon reflection, a fundamental Stoic practice, I realized that these were elements I could have anticipated, perhaps even mitigated. Acknowledging that I had missed these signs was tough. It's not easy to admit our oversights. However, this admission was a turning point. It shifted my perspective from one of blame to one of learning. I asked myself, what can this teach me? Instead of, why did this happen to me? This shift is crucial. It transforms moments of failure into opportunities for growth. When you take responsibility for your actions, you move from a passive state where life happens to you to an active state where you happen to life. You start to see every challenge as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. This doesn't mean you won't encounter frustrations or disappointments, but instead of allowing them to defeat you, you use them as fuel to forge ahead, to refine your strategies and to strengthen your resolve. Taking responsibility might sound daunting, but it begins with simple, everyday decisions. Start by owning your choices, both big and small. Did a conversation not go as planned? Reflect on your words and consider how different approaches might yield different results. Was a goal not achieved? Evaluate your methods and determine what adjustments are necessary to succeed next time. Each act of responsibility reinforces your agency and your capacity to influence your destiny. And remember, taking responsibility is not about shouldering a burden of guilt. It's about embracing a position of control. It's about saying, here is where I can do better, not here is where I failed. The Stoics believed in focusing on efforts, not outcomes, and in finding value in every experience, positive or negative. In the relentless pursuit of our goals, we often become our own harshest critics. It's easy to spiral into self-doubt and criticism when things don't go according to plan. But what if I told you that the secret to sustained success and inner peace lies not in constant self-critique, but in practicing self-compassion? This isn't just about being kind to yourself. It's about acknowledging your struggles, accepting your imperfections, and still choosing to nurture your spirit, much like the Stoics, who emphasized understanding and managing our own perceptions and reactions. Consider the times you faced setbacks or failures. Think about how you responded. Did you berate yourself, or did you take a moment to offer yourself understanding and grace? The journey to achieving anything significant is often riddled with obstacles and setbacks. It's how you speak to yourself in these moments that can either forge a path forward or create a barrier that is hard to break. I remember once, after a particularly challenging project, I found myself caught in a storm of self-criticism. I had worked tirelessly, yet the outcome was far from what I had hoped for. Initially, my inner dialogue was harsh, filled with messages of failure and self-doubt. But then I paused. I realized that if a friend had come to me with the same story, I would have offered words of encouragement and support, not criticism. Why, then, was I not offering the same to myself? Self-compassion is this shift in dialogue. It's treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. The Stoics teach us not to be disturbed by events, but by our perception of these events. By practicing self-compassion, you alter your perception of your experiences from negative to nurturing. This doesn't mean shying away from responsibility or ignoring your mistakes. Instead, it means accepting your imperfections, learning from them, and moving forward without the heavy baggage of self-judgment. Practicing self-compassion starts with recognizing your humanity. Understand that to err is human, to struggle is part of growth. When you make a mistake, instead of diving into a sea of self-criticism, ask yourself, what can this teach me? Use setbacks as learning points, not as anchors that pull you down. Another step is to be mindful of your inner critic. Listen to the voices in your head and challenge them. Are they fair? Are they helpful? Would you say them to someone else? If not, it's time to reframe them. Replace critical thoughts with supportive, compassionate ones. This shift not only changes how you view yourself, but also how you interact with the world. Moreover, make self-compassion a regular practice. Just like physical exercise strengthens the body, regular moments of self-compassion strengthen your mental and emotional resilience. Set aside time to reflect on your day. Focus on what you did well and where you could improve, always through a lens of compassion. Embracing self-compassion means breaking free from the confines of self-doubt and adopting a more forgiving, understanding approach to personal challenges. It allows you to celebrate small victories while constructively learning from the losses. With self-compassion, you are not just surviving, you are thriving, learning to sail smoothly on the rough seas of life. In a world that constantly changes, the ability to keep learning and evolving is not just a skill, it's a necessity. Imagine navigating life's vast ocean with the relentless spirit of a voyager, one who knows that behind every horizon lies new knowledge and endless possibilities. This is the essence of mental strength, a perpetual thirst for growth, a deep-seated resolve to never stand still. It's about embracing the Stoic belief that life is a teacher and every experience a lesson. Remember, the path to self-improvement isn't paved with dramatic breakthroughs, but with continuous small steps of progress. Each step is a piece in the puzzle of who you are and who you might become. Think about the last time you learned something new, how it felt, the excitement, and sometimes the frustration. Did it change the way you think? Did it inspire you to explore further? This is the power of learning. It transforms your mind, expands your horizons, and reshapes your world. Let me share a personal story that illustrates this transformative power of continuous learning. A few years ago, I decided to delve into the art of photography. At first, it was merely a hobby, a way to capture moments of beauty. But as I learned more about the techniques, the history, and the stories behind each image, photography became more than just a pastime. It became a new lens through which I viewed the world. It taught me about light and shadow, about perspective, and most importantly, about the details that we often overlook. Each photograph became a lesson in patience and observation, and each lesson enhanced not just my skills with the camera, but my skills in life. To never stop learning is to maintain a state of readiness, to be adaptable in the face of change, and to always be prepared to seize new opportunity. It's about being curious and allowing that curiosity to propel you forward. Ask questions, seek answers, and challenge yourself to step outside your comfort zone. Whether it's picking up a new book, starting a new course, or simply exploring a new hobby, every new venture is a step toward becoming a more rounded, enlightened individual. Embracing continuous learning also means acknowledging that we never fully arrive. There is always something more to know, some new skill to acquire. This might seem daunting, but within this realization lies true freedom. The freedom to reinvent oneself, to innovate, and to pivot without fear of the unknown. Stoicism teaches us not to fear failure, but to use it as a catalyst for growth. So when faced with challenges, don't shy away. Dive deeper, learn from them, and emerge stronger. Moreover, make this journey of learning a shared one. Engage with others who are on their own paths of discovery. Exchange ideas, debate theories, and collaborate on projects. These interactions not only enrich your learning experience, but also build a community of like-minded individuals who support and inspire each other. Remember that the goal is not just to accumulate information, but to understand deeply, to apply wisely, and to live fully. So, I urge you, keep pushing the boundaries of what you know. Keep challenging the limits of what you can do. After all, in the words of the great philosopher Seneca, as long as you live, keep learning how to live.